So, is everything got to be political? Well, apparently, if you're a judge in the United States, yep. And by the way, the media won't let you go off the hook either. You have to pick a side. You're either on the good guys team or on the bad guys team. As we've seen this past week, by the way, in case you missed it, a couple of Supreme Court judges did a little bit of, media tour, and you could tell just from the different interviews that judges are being put on the spot for their political views. But wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen. Judicial system is supposed to be apolitical. It's not supposed to pick sides. But, this one's a Democrat and this one's a Republican. And once again, when it doesn't suit one side, guess what they do? They bend the law. And when they get caught, all their supporters come running and say, that's not fair. But people, the judges were never supposed to be political. Welcome back to the Rant Network, everybody. I'm David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. This is the Rant Network. We spend, 15 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, ranting about politics, societal bullshit, all kinds of craziness, and so much more. What we love to do is to share our opinions, this kind of stuff that I've said to people that are really discussed in hushed tones because people are afraid in today's society to express how they really feel when they impose some of the more common attitudes, especially pushed out by the liberal media. So sit back today, because I gotta tell you, Stuart, when current President Trump was being arrested, or not arrested, but brought into court
He
for
was arrested.
all these, he's right, all these charges, and these judges come out with these, with these things, and you see attorney generals actually campaign on, I'm going to get Trump. It's not supposed to be this way. Stuart, the judicial system is not supposed to pick sides, but they are.
America, David, is under siege. Not just by the criminals in the street, but by the judges who keep setting them free. The activist judges in black robes have forgotten their oath, twisted the law, and endangered every single one of us, right, in the United States. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and showing you how these judges undermine justice. And more importantly, how we in the American side, people, can remove them and hold them accountable to restore law and order. All across America, we're seeing a dangerous pattern. Judges, often blackened by radical liberal agendas, are choosing ideology over justice. We've seen it. Violent criminals released on no cash bail within hours, only to reoffend. Repeat offenders walking free because some judges decide rehabilitation matters more than public safety. Take a subway car incident that just occurred that's barely been covered by any media. Sanctuary city rulings popped up by judges who refuse to enforce federal laws that are on the book. It's not that it's mean. It's not that it's not a non-American. It's because it's against the law. This isn't theory. It's reality. It's in black and white. It's indoctrined into the law that we, the people, voted politicians and have created these laws. Every time one of these judges makes a soft on crime ruling, victims pay the price. Families are destroyed. Communities are destroyed. Do we not recall what happened with Floyd? Do we not recall the BLM takeovers of cities on the West Coast and prisons and jails and everything under the sun? What about law enforcement? Brave men and women put their lives on the line every day to make arrests, only to watch the judges, the men in black robes, the men that have security details, undo with a bang of a gavel. When that happens, trust collapses. People stop believing. The system is on their side. Anarchy ensues. Seems exactly what the Soros, the Rothschilds, and many others want for America. They stop believing in justice because it's for the victims and start believing it only protects the criminals. When do people stop believing in justice? Judges were never meant to be kings in black robes. Wait a minute. Don't they call Donald Trump a king? No. It's the liberal judges in these small towns who think that their verdicts affect every city in America. They were meant to be servants of the law for the people. Why does this matter? Because without accountability, the entire system crumbles, which is what they want. Think about it. When law enforcement sees criminals walk free, morale plummets, right? When families watch repeat offenders get a chance after their faith in the court evaporates and the judges believe they can act without consequence, they stop serving justice altogether. The founding fathers gave us checks and balances for just those reasons. The judiciary was never meant to rise above the people. If we allow activist judges to redefine justice unchecked, the liberty itself is at risk. This fight isn't about politics. It's about survival of a 250-year-old experiment, whether America stands for law and order or sinks into chaos. David, you have sat there listening to me go for 7 minutes, like on a straight tirade. Tell me for 1 second, from your perspective, how do you feel? Is it not frustrating? Do you not watch the New York subway incident? You've got kids in the States. They're in North Carolina. They're all over the place. Family. Are you not scared?
Stuart, it's not okay. So there's two things here. One is you're talking about crime, and I agree with you. And when Jasmine Crockett says stupid things like law enforcement is to solve a crime, not to prevent crime, I mean that's one of the dumbest things that you could possibly imagine. But really, the question right now is about judges, Stuart. And I'll tell you what the problem I have is judges are elected, right?
Yep.
Judges are elected, and in order to be elected, you have to pick a side. And that's the problem. Are you a Democrat or a Republican? To be independent and try to run as a judge, I don't know how successful you are. I haven't seen the stats on these things. But that's where I think it's all cockeyed. Your sheriff is elected, the school commissioner is elected, and you have to pick a political side. That's where it's cockeyed. You can't pick a neutral judge if you know that this judge is a Democrat, is a Republican. How do you pick? Political. What about upholding the law? Not I believe in abortion and now bring me in as a judge. Not I believe in gun, everybody should have guns. It's what you believe in could and should matter, but your record of upholding the law and exercising it right. One of the interesting things yesterday, I saw actually no, it says on Monday I watched Amy Conan Barrett was interviewed, and she said, look, the mistake that people are making, and she is that, that every judge votes along political lines, read their opinions, read what they're saying, but it's really you want to get ahead, you need to be political. They're at the Supreme Court level, they're not going much further, and they are bringing down judgments based on the law. But a lower court judge who has aspirations of going to an appeals court or a higher court or some other court is going to play the game. Is going to want to play the game so that they can get ahead. That's your problem. You've over politicized this. You can't bring in neutral judges.
But here, David, here's one thing Americans don't realize: judges are not untouchable. They may wear robes, but they're still public servants.
But the only way you can vote them out. It's to vote them out.
Right. No. You can impeach them. You're right, they're elected, and so you can vote them out. There's something called a judicial commission where every state you can file complaints. And then finally, you need legislative reform.
Yeah, but by then it's too late. But by then it's too late. You've already been the judge has already
Cause damage.
passed it, and if you're Trump and you can expedite a trial, it's great. But some people, you're talking years, more law, more legal costs. The average person doesn't want to go to court 4 times for these kinds of things. And you saw this with if you, God forbid, are a Catholic person and you happen to get a judge who hates religion, you're screwed. If you are, if you're a pro-lifer and the person at the bench is an abortionist, you could be screwed. It's just the problem of the politics have crept in, and this is the design across across the whole spectrum in the U.S. You all, even people who vote. I've spoken to people. They say to me, "Well, I'm neither a Democrat nor a Republican." Why the choice? Why do you? Because this is what your country has done: is you've created a system of two sides. And no wonder there's. And listen, I can't say that if there were 5 sides it would make a difference, or if I don't know, but the reality that I'm seeing is, and you see this in mayor elections, you see this in other elections. It's all about blue, red, and if your president today is blue. If you look at what Biden did, he was going to put in a liberal judge. He so much has said so. But Trump said he's going to put a conservative judge. He so much has said so. This is what it is. The politicians do not want their policies overridden. They don't want their laws ripped apart. Trump doesn't want his tariffs thing to go away. Trump doesn't want a lot of these things. And so he doesn't want to be in front of a liberal judge, because these liberal judges, many of them, are going to find a way to rule against him. And then he'll have to appeal. And he'll have to appeal. And you see things that he's doing right now going all the way to the Supreme Court. I don't understand how a judge in a stinking little town thinks that person has more power than a Supreme Court justice. I don't.
David, listen. Bottom line is, here's the truth. It's not Democrats or Republican judges, because there are good Democrat and good Republican judges.
I didn't say that it was good or bad.
There are reckless ideologues that need to be removed. And here's the truth. Bad judges are destroying our communities. Period. One reckless ruling at a time. But David, we've said this time and time again. You don't have to sit back and take it. There is the power and ability to fight back. Learn their names, shine the light.
People are afraid. No, but you see, when you start doxing like you're telling people to do, you're playing, again, a dirty game. And you don't want to get into if you play the dirty game.
Judges like to remain secretive.
But you know what? I don't want to see people. I don't want to see people go to judges' homes and protest. I don't.
No. Shedding the light doesn't mean going to protest at their house.
But don't forget, these guys.
You file a complaint. You file a complaint.
And then but people are Stuart,
expose the corruption.
But people are scared too, because those
judges rely on silence. Don't give it to them.
No,
judges rely on silence.
I get it. I get it. That's
don't stay quiet, David.
Okay, but again, I'll say it for this 3rd time. People are scared, because once the courts are on you, or once something happens, now they're afraid. Okay, they are genuinely afraid. To me, the problem comes. It's not a person. You need more of an advocate. You need someone who's an activist, who understands the rules, who understands the laws, who understands to be able to do it. You can't ask the average person who's worried about putting food on the table and is trying to get the kids to school and keep their job and all that stuff, say, "Oh yeah, but by the way, we need to get rid of this judge because it's a liberal or it's a conservative." It doesn't, or it's not that. It's not a bad judge. It's really the average person isn't ready to do that. The average person wants to live a day-to-day life.
David, don't stay quiet.
Yeah,
share this podcast. Share this brand. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to people in your synagogue. Talk to people in your church. Bring it to your community. Shine the light on these activist judges.
Okay.
Because the spotlight hits and they run for cover.
Well, some do. Some do.
David, I'm going to leave you with this, because I normally don't put a last word in. America doesn't belong to rogue judges. It belongs to the people. And we have to remind them of that. Again, I remind you, don't stay quiet. Share this podcast. Share this rant. Talk to your neighbors.
I hope a judge doesn't speak to you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another edition of the Rant Network. It's a hump day edition. We'll be back again on Friday, when Stuart actually plays the music, and we will be back on Friday, and we will have another one of those wonderful rounds. Guys, we love you. Have a good one. Cheers.